Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I want to do a little bit of a follow-up on this little guy, the Spyderco Para 3. And by the way, sorry about the hand, having a bit of a bad hand day. Figured you all didn't need to see that, so here you go. Anyways, Para 3, nice knife in a lot of ways. This has just come back to me after spending some time with a buddy, both so I can figure out if I miss it or not, and so he can see if he wants one. But anyways, it's back to me, and it's actually about to go on down the road, and I figured I'd talk a little bit about why. I mean, I still like this knife at a very fundamental level. Ergonomically speaking, it's still pretty damn solid, and I mean, it is exactly what they promised, a smaller PM2. And if you live in an area where the PM2 is simply off limits due to legal reasons, you know, you can't carry a knife over 3 inches, this may be a stellar option for you, and this will probably be a gem in your life. And I agree with my overall review previously. If you don't like the PM2, you're not going to like this guy either. But I found that it hasn't been carried for me for a couple of reasons. The first one is what I alluded to in the review, that this is a really, really shallow carry knife. And unfortunately, because it's so shallow, it rides, well, obviously higher, and then it rides a little bit thicker in the pocket than even your regular PM2, that is. And so that is a big factor, and I think it is kind of the biggest blunder of this knife here. It's a little bit harsh, but it kind of is. And so, for me, that's one of the reasons it hasn't been carried. The other reason is honestly the competition here. Right here is the PM2, and this is the PM3, and then down at the bottom here, this right here is a Spyderco Delica. And the fact is, I own all 3 of these knives. I'm a very lucky guy in that way, and, well, the thing is, I've never found myself in a situation where I would carry the PM3, Para 3 that is, over the PM2 or the Delica. If I want something that is big, beefy, and slicey, which is where I would reach for a PM2, generally, I'm going to reach for the PM2 because I want it to be a little bit on the bigger side. Legally speaking, 3.5 inches is no different than 3 inches where I live, and at least practically speaking. And so I might as well have a little bit of extra blade length. I might as well and frankly, I know this knife better. But if I want something that's relatively small, whether for legal reasons or frankly just for carry reasons, I'm going to reach for the Delica instead. Because the Delica is a stellar knife, and it's a much thinner knife. Oh, sorry, I was making fun of a buddy who wanted a Delica and a non... Yeah, I'm a jackass. This is not SM100. This is VG10. SM100's cool steel, though. Anyways, moving it along there. My custom SM100 Delica, I will usually end up carrying this little guy instead because it is just smaller and it's thinner in the pocket overall. It carries a little bit deeper than the PM2, Para 3, that is. And it's just, honestly, I prefer it. The Delica is one of the very best knives out there, and the Para 3 is a very good knife, but it doesn't quite hit that standard to me. And so, like I said, unfortunately, even though this is a great knife, and I think it's going to be great for a lot of people, it's just not a knife that finds its way into my pocket on a regular basis. And so, as a result, I'm going to be selling it down the road. This is, again, not to diminish what they did here. It's a great knife, and especially now that the warranty is allows you to take it apart, and now that you're able to, that they're not using as much red Loctite, which was a major issue, and caused this screw to strip out a little bit, I think it's a much better knife as a result. But it is not going to be sticking around. So, anyways, there you go. I hope this has been interesting to you, that this is a helpful follow-up to you, and mostly that you have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of the day. Bye now.